As an overview for input in RMS, we're going to go from the main menu into Enter EDI Data. Here's a list of all orders, invoices, and orders. You can do a customer filter. You can click on the dots in our screen in order to do a search for certain things. I just clicked on the company name. I put it in an alphabetical order. Doing a search, say for Nordstrom, it's case sensitive, and if you use the % as a wildcard, you can do find first, and it's showing that it found 5 that started with NORD. Here are the different Nordstroms. I'm going to go ahead and choose number 9. Here I'm going to go to, if you highlight, and if you'll note, I'm on the select tab. You got orders, items, so forth. If you double click it, it'll take you from the select over to the order tab. Here's where you fill in the information for your invoice and your ASN. So if you run your mouse over the different fields at the very bottom in red, you'll note enter a valid SCAC EDI shipper code. So each one of the different fields has a little help, as well as if you click on information at the top, it does pull up any special notes for that retailer, for the invoice and for the ASN. So very, very helpful. Notes. You can leave yourself notes for this retailer. Here I left myself a note. Always use remit to number 2. The required, when you click on required, you'll note that everything that's highlighted is required, and that's something that you set up in the utilities. Usually when you first test with a retailer, you figure out which fields are required, and that's when you can set up the required fields. Okay, the help is also fantastic. If you come in here, we're in sales orders, so I'm going to click there. These are all the different helps that you can review. Here we're doing the EDI input step by step. Very helpful. Exactly what we're doing now. Yeah, so all of that is very, very helpful. All right, so I'm just going to click on the ship via ... And if your carrier is not in this list, by all means, just add it. If you click the plus, this is the SCAC code, which is a 3 to 5 character code. I set up just a test one here, so I'm just going to double click on it, which selects it. I'm going to go through each one of these different fields. You can either enter through it, and it'll populate, some of these fields for you, or you can just go around to the different fields. Cartons this stored, this will calculate the total number of cartons for you, as well as the weight in this store if you have your UPC set up with weights in RMS. Bill of lading number, you can click on that. It gives you a 17-digit VIX BOL number. Carrier charges, I'm just going to choose collect. Okay, as my note stated, it said to choose remit to number 2. Here you'll note we've got the first and second one. It's up to you. The remit to information, it could be a factor. Each retailer may be different with what they require. Sometimes they require a payee number, and that's what that field's for. I'm just going to select number 2. If I enter through the invoice number, it populates with a unique invoice number, which is the same as the RMS reference number. You can, of course, fill in your invoice number from your ERP or accounting software. Enter through it. It fills in today's date. Net days due does default to 30 unless you populate it with something else. I'm going to go over to items. We just have generic information in here. I'm going to click complete ship. It'll populate with exactly what quantity ordered equals quantity shipping. If there is, you can do complete ship and then adjust anything that you're not shipping. When you do send the ASN an invoice, it does create another complete record of this order with the remaining item that would be back ordered. So in this case, it would just have one of this item left. I'm going to box the items to complete the ASN. You've got several different options here. You've got all-in-one, meaning that all 5 of these pieces that you're shipping would go in one box. Case pack would be anything that has a case pack here. So in this case packs of 1. So this would give us 5 boxes. Okay, by group is if you do, let's say, shirts. You've got small, medium, and large. You've got 2 of the small, 3 of the medium, and 2 of the large in one box. That you can set that up so it'll box everything for you based on those criteria. By quantity is what we're going to do here in a second. Scanner, you can scan the what's in each box, and you can set it up to upload. A wedge is also used. You can use that. Some customers set that up where their warehouse can do this information. Okay, I'm going to choose by quantity. I'm going to say, okay, I want 1 of this item and 2 of this item in a box. Okay, so this is only for one box. I'm going to click execute. All right. And now it's saying, okay, the quantity box so far is 1 and 2, and you've got remaining 1 and 1. So let's say I want to put those next 2 into one box. I choose all in one, so it'll take everything that's unboxed and put it into one box. Okay, execute, yes. Unboxed items not found. That means that everything's been boxed. Okay. UCC boxes and items. It gives me 2 UCC carton numbers. It's highlighting this one here, so on the right it's telling me what's in that box. When I go back to the second box, it tells me what's in that box as well. You can click on the printer to give me labels or report and so forth. You've got many options there. This will only give me the labels for this store. You can choose only one of the labels to print. Every store for this PO, all is anything that has not been transmitted that you do have boxes for. Customer is any order that you've boxed that has not been transmitted for this customer. Okay, so I'm going to click on the printer. I'm going to say yes, and it's going to come up asking me the name of the file and where to place it. So I'm just going to put temp 1. All right, so I've got it set up to automatically go to a PDF. All right, so this is what the label looks like, and then you can print it or you can email it or whatnot. All right. So basically that completes your ASN and invoice. Let's go into routing request, which is a 753 document. Okay, if the order is not listed in here, which I know in this case it is not, meaning that you've already done a 753 or started the 753, I'm going to click on the plus, and I'm going to find the order that we just did, which is this one here. Okay, and it populated a lot of the information that we had already done. It does require some kind of invoice or tracking number. The document is a 753. Okay, I'm going to go over to items. This is already populated based on what we had already done. Routing, I'm going to go to this is something that you can set up in one of the routing request tables, so it'll always pull your information. I'm going to say that it is picking up at 0800 hours. It is military time. Total number of pieces, cubic feet. If you set up in RMS your cube per item, it will calculate for you. I've got 2 cartons. If it's hazardous material, check here. Box type. You can always select it. It does automatically default to carton 25. Group routing, you can do group routing and do this for like hundreds at a time. You choose which one. Say if it's a complete ship and you run it. Okay, so that's how you do your 753. Order status is an 855. Again, I'm going to do it for the same exact one. If it had not been started already, which is found here, I'm going to click on the plus. And I'm going to do a search for this one here that we did earlier. All right, this is going to be an 855 document. I am accepting it. All right, and then I'm going to go to the items. And an 855 is basically you telling them, yes, I received the purchase order, and yes, everything is you know, it's shipping on this date, or you can reject it. Each one has its own code. All right, so in this case I'm shipping everything complete. Actually, I'm only doing 2 of that one, correct, based on what